Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, still in quarantine right now. Gonna bring you guys another old school album review, and today I'm gonna be talking about Ritual by the Black Dahlia Murder, the band's fifth album released in 2011. It's hard to believe, well, next year will be 10 years since this came out, so we're at the 9-year anniversary. Um, Now this of course is the follow-up to their previous album, 2009's Deflorate, which we talked about yesterday. But in my honest opinion, with Ritual compared to Deflorate, I feel like Black Dahlia Murder actually incorporated some different elements. I've heard all Black Dahlia Murder stuff, but I feel like with this album, they're more, I believe, diverse album. Although like I've said before, I still think Nocturnal is, in my opinion, probably my favorite album. But that's besides the point. And, I feel like this also has like a lot of different stuff with this album. Like they've actually incorporated a lot of orchestration in a couple of the songs, which is I don't think you could never hear on any other Black Dahlia Murder album. Just and lyrically, and just like every song title, it'll always has like ritual of something next to the actual song title and just in parentheses. Like Trevor just has like some really great lyrics and just unbelievable lyrics, vocals, like going from his high shrieks to his low growls. The guitar work is just tight as ever. Brian Eschbach's riffs are great, and of course former guitar player Ryan Knight does a great job. The bass, I kind of wish I was a little bit audible on here. That's just like my little complaint about here at the song album. I like Bart Williams is a great bass player, and drumming wise, sadly, this is the last album with Shannon Lucas as well as with Bart. I feel like Shannon just does a really great job on this album and just goes really all out on here. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. We're starting off with A Shrine to Madness, aka Ritual of Celebration, which is a great way to open the album. Following an elegant intro, the rush of like Black Dahlia's finest sort of like erupts and eviscerates the long wait that we had to endure for this record. It pretty much sets the tone and the reason behind the rest of the tracks and prepares the audience for what is yet to come. If you, and this is pretty much a great way to start off this album. Anyway, moving on to Moonlight Equilibrium, Ritual of Transformation. One of the first songs that was believed was released from the album. It doesn't really hesitate here, and the continuation of sort of like metaphors are present here, reinforcing the material you'll lay down pretty much track by track. And the instruments, in my opinion, are probably some of the best on here, and Shannon does a really great job on the drums. Of Stirring Seas of Salted Blood, which is a ritual of condemnation, which I can't say enough about this song. After a few listens, I would always return to this track, as I do now when it comes to listening to this album. It's a bit of a slower tempo than the last two tracks, but is immaculately placed. Although sort of like slower, the deep guttural musicianship pushes the intensity forward. Just the pounding of the drums and bass create a dynamic like no other Black Dahlia Murder song. It has such a weight and density that you could feel right here. Moving on, next song on the album is called Conspiring with the Damned, aka Ritual of Communication. And right off the bat, Trevor admits the title and just ruptures the vocal from exit 8. And this has to be a no-brainer. Just listen to this song. Anyway, moving on to The Window, aka Ritual of Abduction, which is just absurd, decadent, just malevolent, I should really say. One of my personal favorite songs from the album. Boom, and Ryan just comes up with some really great guitars that makes the repeating verses electric, and the transition from breakdown to bridge is something also reminds you a little bit of like Nocturnal, and you know what I mean when you hear this. However, it is amplified to the max, just pure adrenaline filling. Carbonized and Cruciform, which is Ritual of Conjuration, which again uses sort of like ambient like cellos to keep the tone in check, and lyrically it's one of the more diverse songs on the album, and this is the part of the ritual that you truly feel like you're watching a ceremony. Anyway, Den of the Picarist, which is Ritual of Mutilation, which if you don't feel like your ears are mutilated, then you may have a problem. The mortality of the song is just very unbelievable, and the sound itself is very quite haunting, and although it's sort of like short, it just holds no regard for just the consumed morsels here. Anyway, then we go into Melenchantments of the Necrosphere, which is Ritual of Condemnation, in which just the lyrics on this song is just great. Just like arise, arise, arise. Is I love like at the 2-minute 46 mark, you hear Trevor yell, "Prepare for hell and go," or something. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just one of the best songs on here. I love it. Anyway, the Grave Robber's Work, which is Ritual of Desecration. If you thought this album could get better, you're right. The most diverse and unrelenting track awaits you here. And the beginning itself is just pure gold. And sometimes I don't even know how Trevor does it. And just instrumentally, it just explodes, and the gang pretty much holds all guns and unloads all rounds in your ears. Great song. Anyway, The Raven, which is Ritual of Observation, which I feel like this song, like I said, could be like a cousin to something from Nocturnal, which I have no problem with actually. Like, a Great Burning Nijvler, I can never pronounce that, which is Ritual of Emancipation, which is a great pre-conclusion. This song brings forth the climactic presence of the ritual with sort of like the instruments divulge, and I love how Trevor says, "We did spirits converge in flame," which great noble for colors to the grays, terminal board, dumb light and evade, our prayers of east than a ritual escape. It's just very rumbling, and they sort of like reuse the same segment but twist it near the end, and it just seems seamless. Anyway, and then the album closes with Blood in the Ink, which is Ritual of Indoctrination. And I just, after 11 songs on here, and we pretty much arrived near the end, and this relinquishes all the other themes for one purpose: eternity. And the themes of the ritual collide here, and just Trevor speaks of the everlasting effects of the ceremony. And I feel like this album converges like the plate of tectonics and the earth is torn asunder. And I just feel like great way to end this album. It's kind of like similar to the first song, A Rush Shine the Madness, with the orchestration. But yeah. So overall, Ritual by the Black Dahlia Murder, in my opinion, I feel like this is their most diverse album. It's like the incorporation of like some orchestra in here and some of the songs, which makes it really stand out. So yeah, if I were to give this album a score, I'm probably going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of Ritual by Black Dahlia Murder, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.